Hey everyone, Carmine Disco here on the Launch Network. We got our show back, man. People have been asking me what's going on with Mr. Jim Debetta. And I told them, I said, we're preparing for season 3. We're going to kick it off in January. So here we are. I got the man with the plan on the mic, Mr. Jim Debetta. Yo, Jim, what's up?
Hey, well, actually, I think we should tell people the truth. We were just lazy and didn't feel like doing anything in the fall. So, we're back. We've been saying, right? We're like, we got to get this going. But we always have our seasons sort of like the beginning of the year. I think we ended last year, like what, in the end of June or something. And yeah, we were, with Corona, with everything else, I think everybody got sidetracked with everything. So yeah, it's good to be back. New year. Obviously, a lot going on at retail. I know a lot of people have been asking me, whether it's current clients or just people reaching out, asking me what's going on at retail. Are retailers still buying? What's happening? So there's a lot to update everybody on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, not being able to really do the podcast, having things happening. And the time went by really fast. We kept saying, hey, listen, we're going to get this stuff going. But all of a sudden, the new year turned around. I'm glad you reached out because we want to get this going. I have a lot of people been asking me when this show is coming back. Has that been happening to you?
Me too. A lot of people, yes, either through just, emails or social media. I think they actually miss us.
Yeah, they might miss the information. I don't know. They might miss you. Not.
Well, yeah, either or, right? Yeah, it's probably the information. They got used to learning from us, and then all of a sudden we just disappeared on them. But look, like you said, we're back, and we've talked about everything in the past. There isn't something in the invention business that we haven't touched on. I think the whole thing is just to remind people that it's good to hear those things over and over again, because I still get the same questions over and over again from people, despite what's out there and the information that's available. So it's good to be back and go touch on topics that, are still relevant and update people on what's going on. But even more importantly, we're going to have some good guests. I've had a number of industry people or inventors that are doing well that have asked to be on the show. So you and I will sort all that out, but I don't think we'd have any shortage of people that want to get on that could help other inventors make their move and learn more about the business.
Yeah, I agree. There's never a shortage of information and people out there that want to also reach out and help. And of course, recapping all the things we talked about. But, before we get into that, tell me what's going on with you. You always have a bunch of cool products you're working on. You're getting into retail. You're always running around, your hair on fire. What's happening with you out there?
Yeah. Over the last, I guess, 6+ months, I'm working with a lot of interesting things. I have one product called the Beach Box, and it is, well, what these portable showers or like pump spray things are, right? Like I always tell people, like if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you want to get like a bug sprayer, like one of those pump ones where you put the liquid in it and then you kind of carry it around, and it looks like the size of a small propane tank, and you hand pump it and you spray the ground. Oh, yeah. Well, someone approached me with a product that was basically like that, but it also comes inside of what looks like a small cooler. It's a big box, a plastic box. And he created it because he used to surf early in the morning before he went to work. And he had no real way to clean himself off quickly before he went to the office, I guess. And so he created this box that basically you stand inside of it instead of standing out in the dirt or in the parking lot. And he could spray himself off with this pump, which when you fill it would last like a few minutes with the sprayer. And then you just pick it back up, put it in your car or SUV, and you're on your way. And so I started working with that, and we've got that in front of a bunch of retailers. There's a lot of interest already. So that's just one of the really interesting things that I'm working with. Believe it or not, I'm working with a mask company. I know there's like everyone out there selling masks, but I have these 2 ladies that have masks that are actually tested. They're ASTM safety tested. Most of the inexpensive masks are probably not tested or not proven safe. Theirs is, and they sell them to major corporations already. So there are big companies buying them, but they wanted to get into retail. And they're a one-size-fit-all, gray color. They don't mess with different styles and shapes and designs. It's just a mask that works. Their packaging is great. I didn't have to do anything really. We just touched up their deck, I've already gotten that out to a bunch of retailers. So another good product that's out there. So yeah, there's a lot of things always happening. You know that.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy is that, and I talk about it all the time, even though this product's out there, when we talk about people who want to be first to market, there's always people and out there improvements to current products. And I think sometimes that's the easiest way to break into the market is to do an improvement of a product.
It is, because a lot of times when somebody comes to me with something that's truly unique, they think the retailer is going to jump all over it. But I said, listen, if there's no buyer for it, or if there's no category, it's actually difficult, because then the people over there, the executives, have to carve out a space for it or create a category for it, versus something that's already sold in their stores. And all you have to do is show them the new and improved version. So it's tricky. So sometimes being second or third to market behind another company is easier, because now that retailer might be looking for just another option, right? You go into any store and there's always 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 different choices of whatever that product is. It could be, razors or toothpaste or deodorant or bug sprayers or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's always choice, because consumers want choice, and there's different prices and there's different quality levels. So with the masks, a few of the retailers said, oh, we got masks covered, we're good. I'm like, but don't you really want something that actually works? And so they take another look at it and they say, oh, it's interesting. And then when they see the pricing, because they're expecting it to be expensive because it actually works, it actually filters correctly or whatever. And then they say, wow, that's like what we're paying for masks that probably don't work. So now, and then they see how it's packaged and how willing, and this is what's important, that the company, the inventors, are willing, what they're willing to do to get behind the product, especially if they've got some money behind them where they can help co-op and market, and again, create displays or have really great packaging, and more importantly, even be able to alter the pack or the pack size. Like they do like a 6-pack and a 9-pack, but if a retailer wants just 2 in a pack or 4 in a pack, they'll do it. They're willing to do what the retailer wants, not what they think is best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna share my screen real quick while you're talking about this, because it caught my eye when I was in Lowe's the other day. Instantly thought of you and some of products that you stated. I want to get your idea of it, and hopefully we're going to be posting now these videos of our podcasts on the Launchpad Network YouTube channel. But Jim, check this out. I want you to take a look at it. Let me know if you can see that.
Door seals with bug killer, heavy duty door. With bug killer, like, does it have like a scent or a spray on it?
I guess so, but is that the funniest thing? I mean, talk about reinventing the wheel.
Slide on. This is actually the smart thing. I've not seen this. Usually those seals, you have to like screw on the seal to one side of the door, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so this is just it being a slide on thing is smart. That I obviously probably still have to maybe screw it on from underneath or something, but I like the way that goes on. But I would imagine it has to have some sort of built-in something. It doesn't, I mean, from this you really can't see, but it says with bug killer, not like with bug preventer from getting in your house. It's got to have something on it. That's weird.
Isn't that funny though? I mean, it's a perfect example.
So people do look, there's so many versions or renditions of so many things, but often that's what sells. It's the new and improved, or the version that kind of takes it up a notch from what exists already. And those things sell because there's an awareness of it. The product already exists. Most people know what door sealers are, or if they see that visual, they say, oh, I've got that on my door. I know what that is. So whatever it is that they have to offer, it makes you look twice at least and say, this is a better version, or it's different, or it works a little easier, or it's got bug killer on it. We're gonna have to investigate that and see what that's about.
I love that. Just for the show, I go.
But they're in there. I mean, they're in the store. They're in Lowe's, so there must be something to it. It's not just like a quirky, funny kind of joke thing. I mean, it must be for real if they put it in there, because Lowe's, like a lot of retailers, they are not easy to penetrate in there, and they're very difficult in terms of being selective and buying things. And so, yeah, there's got to be something to it. For sure.
It's funny. It's funny stuff. It's just, I didn't mean to take over with the show in that sense, but I had to show that to you because it's so funny.
I don't have, like you said, I don't know how many people actually watch us anyway. Maybe like there's like 5 people. It's funny. We get a lot of listens. We get thousands of people that listen to our podcast. I think that's just what people do. But video just continues to be so much more prevalent today, and people want to learn things and see things through video, no matter what it is. You know, whether it's on any social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, people want video. So part of what I'm doing this year as well is I'm going to be adding some video content to whatever I do. I don't know what exactly it's going to be yet, but there will be some video, because not only is it what people want, but people have asked me for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that
And
a
the
lot.
retail buyers like it too, Carmine. They love getting short videos. So what I have done now is with sell sheets for inventors, and this is something for them to know, instead of just having a one-page sell sheet with a picture or two of the product, a description, a list of the benefits and features, you can embed on the sell sheet a place where you can click on it and it will play a video. So that's huge for the buyers, because they want to see the product. And as long as that video isn't like 3 or 4 minutes and it's boring, they'll watch it. I always tell inventors, keep those videos short, 30 seconds, 45 seconds at best. And you can use your phone. I mean, you can take a great video with your phone. You don't have to have a production company come in and do anything for you. It doesn't have to be professionally done. If you can show the product, show it up close, say, here's the widget, here's what it does, here's why it's better than something else. You hold it up to the camera closely so people can see it. That's worth 1,000 words, as they say, when the buyer looks at the sell sheet and then they can see this video. That's really helpful for them. It gives them an edge over just sending something on paper.
Yeah, video is big in that sense. And it's so great that the buyers want that, because as you've always said, you know, you get that one shot. And a lot of buyers, you know, sometimes they don't have time. They're on their computer screens. They can start up your video. They can still be doing other things and pay attention to the video instead of reading it, looking through it. But a video obviously can really catch their attention if done the right way.
And that's it. And again, it's got to be short, but people will prefer to watch a video than to read a 10-page deck. If they need that kind of information, or the retailers themselves, they'll reach out for it. But to initially get their attention, you got to be quick with it. So a quick video will definitely enable a buyer to say, hey, look, this looks interesting. I want to get more information. And then you get them that additional information. But, you know, look, Carmine, the business is still the same, but it is changing. Obviously, with Corona this past year, a lot of inventors have come to me and said, well, is my product still good? Is it still useful? And I said, listen, go walk into any retail chain. They still sell all the same things they sold before Corona started. Obviously, there was an emphasis on toilet paper and hand sanitizer and paper towels and everything else. And those things were out of stock and were in stock and out of stock. And now it seems like they're in stock with all those things. These paper companies have finally gotten the idea that they need to keep more than they need in there, because as soon as there's something in the news, people run to the store and empty it out, or they're limiting what you can buy. But what I've found, especially over the last couple of months, now that people are sort of settling into the way life is right now, people are getting used to it, and the retailers are getting used to it, and they already know how to react to panic buying by keeping things in stock more. But they're still selling consumer electronics, pet products, food, toys, games, clothing, whatever else people were buying, they're still buying. And some retailers like Lowe's and Home Depot and Target and Walmart are doing really well, the drug chains, because they sell naturally the things that people have needed during all of this craziness. And when you're in there getting those essentials, you're going to go down another aisle and say, hey, while I'm here, I'll get this, I'll get that. So really, in essence, for inventors to know, if you've got a product, no matter what it is, the retailers still want to keep their shelves full. They want to keep their websites busy. And everybody just doesn't want to keep looking at toilet paper and sanitizer all the time. They want to actually buy other stuff and kind of get back to their normal lives. So if you have something, you have to think of it as if nothing's really happened, and you have to start treating your invention like it's going to be desirable by consumers and these retailers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in essence, I don't think anybody really slowed down buying things. I think they just changed the way they bought things.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a gap, say like late summer, early fall, where the retail buyers were transitioning from working at their corporate offices to working at home. And I think there was just a gap there where I would email certain buyers that I know and they wouldn't respond. And I'd have to follow up 5, 6, 8 times. And some of them said, look, oh, I just, had to adjust. I'm working from home, or hey, we were kind of just dealing with what we had to do until things settled down. But right, other than those things where there was a period for a few months where it was just a little crazy, I think they quickly caught up, and they have to catch up. They can't be out of everything or else they don't have a business, right? So I think more like the inventors were worried that if they had a product that wasn't Corona related, that nobody would want to buy it anymore. I know that I'm out shopping. I'm buying pretty much the same things I've been buying and kept buying. I guess some people were a little more cautious because people were losing their jobs and small businesses were going out of business. And those retail Main Street USA stores are owned by people. And so some people were cautious on their shopping. They might not have bought extra stuff or things they don't need because they were worried about what was going to happen to them. And obviously that's unfortunate, and that's still happening, especially restaurants and small retailers. It's a shame to see that. So, you always have to think, you want to go out and support those people. You want to shop locally, even now more than ever, if you can. There's nothing wrong with going to the big chains because they just have things. And if you're worried about money, you're going to just get a better price there. But if you can shop locally and go to your local whoever and get something, it helps those people. And they still have to stay in business and they still have to sell things that are not Corona related. So you're right. People are still going to do what they do. There was a lapse for a little bit, but it's 2021. Everyone's used to living this way at this point. They may not like it. I don't like wearing a mask every time I go somewhere or having to sanitize my hands even more than I already did, which I always did anyway, right? So if you were that way, you're just a little more conscientious about protecting yourself, your family, your kids, whoever. But I'm still living. I'm still doing what I did before. I'm just more mindful of things as I go into a store that I really don't want to stand right up against somebody. Or if somebody's looking at something down an aisle, I'm going to kind of just wait until they're done. Whereas maybe I might have pushed my way in there like before. So, and look, that's why online shopping has grown so much, even though it was growing already, because you don't have to go to a store. If you're worried about getting sick, just go online and get it. So, but as you saw too, Carmine, a lot of things for holiday on places like Amazon or Target or whoever was shipping, some things got delayed. And that's understandable because FedEx, UPS, and whoever else just couldn't handle the amount of stuff that was being ordered online. But I think they're even adjusting and things are getting back to whatever this normal is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree a lot. Now you get so many products sent to you, monthly or whatever. Do you see any difference in the types of products and how they're prepared or what people are concentrating on?
I think people are still pretty much acting the way they did. Believe it or not, I haven't had many products come my way that were sort of Corona related, like products that cater to like these kind of mass illnesses, diseases, or whatever. I've had a few, and I've told those people that we already should have been presenting this to retailers, at the height of Corona, or well, it might be the height now, who knows? But back in the summer, a lot of these things are timely. Fortunately for people that make products for what's going on, it doesn't look like things are ending anytime soon. People may get used to it, but it's not going to just go away, even though I know, and we're not doctors, but I mean, there are vaccines, they're being tested. Who knows how the people are going to react to it? Who knows how well they're going to work? And then now I heard there's another strain of Corona that's circulating, and it's a mess. So it's not going to just go away in a couple months. I think we're going to deal with this all year. And I think people just have to get used to the fact that they're just going to have to adjust a few things in their personal lives, but they're going to probably continue to shop the way they shop. So I'm not seeing anything really different. I'm getting the same types of interesting or innovative products in all walks of retail product categories that I always did. So for me, I'd say it's 90+% the same as it was.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, and I know that you talk with a lot of buyers. Are they looking for things presented to them differently? Are they looking for different products, or as you said, kind of the whole gamut?
It's pretty much business as usual. You're right. You brought up something before comment. A lot of the retailers are being a little more cautious on how much they buy because there are a lot of retailers that have gone out of business, and there are some that are struggling. And Corona has just exposed them, right? It wasn't like there were certain retailers that were doing really well financially. They were healthy. They had a lot of stores. They were busy. And then all of a sudden Corona came and it just wiped the business out. It's sort of exposing retailers that were weak, that didn't have a good online presence, that didn't have a good drive up. Like just now, like just Target, for example, they've dedicated more of their parking spots to drive up. They've refined the process. Their app is easy to use. You click, you pick what you want, you message them when you get there. Someone comes out in 2 minutes, they load your car, you're on your way. The retailers that haven't adopted to that, haven't done curbside well, or whatever you want to call it, they're the ones that are struggling, because if I go to Target and it works well, I'm going to keep going back to Target. But if I go somewhere else and it's clunky, they don't handle it right, it's slow, I may not go there, and I may not go in there. I may just say, I'm going to stick with what's working. But in terms of how things are being handled at the retail level from me, like presenting things to them, how the buyers want to see it, that hasn't really changed. Again, we talked about video before, but that's relevant regardless of Corona. If you have short videos, you want to show them to the buyer. I'm always looking for ways to make it easy for the buyer to look at a product, but Corona hasn't changed how I'm presenting anything. And I don't think it's being requested of me to change how I'm presenting something from a buyer's perspective.
Yeah, I agree. And if there's one thing that this whole pandemic, if you have it, has really brought out is efficiency. If you weren't efficient and you weren't preparing to be efficient, like some of these stores, I mean, there is no, and I hate to say, better thing that could have happened to Amazon was something like this. I mean, this just showed that Amazon is such a rule, and I don't like Amazon the way that they treat their sellers. They're a whole monster in that sense, but them being able to deliver a product instantaneously without a glitch all the time, it just put them on a pedestal where everyone was trying to catch up. So as you said, if those retailers weren't already implementing, online shopping and curbside delivery, then they had a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, and you're right. Amazon was poised to take advantage. Obviously, the bigger chains like the Walmarts and Targets and Costco's and whoever else, Walgreens or whoever, they've got the money to react. So they can just turn on a dime, spend a lot of money, millions, hundreds of millions or whatever, to transform their businesses from what they were to what they need to be. And yes, everyone's gunning for Amazon. Everyone competes with Amazon. Everybody looks to Amazon, who sets the bar as to how it needs to be done. Amazon was very efficient before all this happened. They just got more business from it because they are. And you know what? I know for Christmas time, I did a lot of shopping on Amazon. We all did.
Yeah, I did.
Because you knew it was going to be reliable. You knew that you were going to, I mean, again, there were a few things that I ordered that got delayed, but really, can you not expect that? At least occasionally, it happens anyway. So for all that I did order, I'm not complaining. A couple things didn't come in the way I wanted them or when I wanted them, but for all that goes on there, I'm surprised they held it together. But the smaller retailers are the ones that are not investing in doing business the new way. They will not probably be around, or they won't be around in the way we see them now. There are some retailers that are scaling down. They're closing some stores. They're reacting. That's probably what they need to do. Like, I look at places like Best Buy or just some other retailers where I say, you like to go in there because it's consumer electronics, it's touch, it's feel, you listen, it's TVs, it's phones, it's home theater. It's good to go in and see those things. I don't want to buy a home theater that's, thousands of dollars without maybe checking it out live. I mean, you could buy it online, but for a retailer like that, does it make sense for them to close a handful of stores because they're just not as crowded? Probably. If they resist that, then it's probably going to reflect in how poorly they might do down the road. So, but those buyers are still buying everything normally. And if you're an inventor, and here's the tie-in, if you have whatever it is that you've been working on, keep working on it. I don't see any reason to think that whatever it is that you are offering is not going to be wanted by the retailers and by people like us. So that's not changing. Again, I think it's almost like comical. Like you go into a chain and you see, do they have toilet paper? Do they have napkins? Do they have tissues or whatever? Right? It's almost like a running joke in that way. You sort of laugh when you see it, or people post stuff about it online, but we're used to it. So it's not a big deal. But I don't go in there running around trying to find it anymore. What I would do rather is go in and go do my normal shopping, whatever that is, whether it's a frivolous purchase or it's something I actually need. So if you invent something and it's unique, it's different, it's new and improved, it's got something that has something better than what's out there, I want to see it. I want to get it in front of a retailer because they want those things. I'm sure some of these retailers are tired of selling or pushing Corona-related stuff. They want to get back to business, the things that they sell well and that people go in there for.
Yeah, 1,000,000%, man. I totally agree with you. And I think that the pandemic was just a catalyst of the inevitability of some of these chains that were already struggling. We may not even have known, but it just brought it to the surface and made them react and implement things that would have taken place maybe over a few years. They just had to do it. So, you don't like to see this kind of thing, but in the big scheme of things, it was going to happen probably anyway at some point.
Yeah. So if you have a product, as we mentioned a few times, there's no reason to sit back and wait. I've had people email me and say, hey, do you think I should wait? Do you think I should wait for this pandemic to end? I'm like, it may not end at all. It may just be part of our lives, like the flu is. It just is something that's you're going to have to contend with a bit. Certain times of the year, you wear a mask, you sanitize, you wash your hands, but you live your life. So whatever it is that you have, there's no sense in waiting at all. It's someone else is going to do it if you don't do it. So why stop? I mean, again, we say this all the time too. Sometimes it sounds self-serving, like, yeah, send us your products. We don't care what's going on. But the reality is that nothing has really changed in my world. People and retailers and everybody else, they still want the normal things that they had or were buying before all of this started. And just be more nimble. Have a great sell sheet. Have a quick video. Video is really the theme for this year. Do them yourself. Have a production company do it if you feel like you just don't want to be on camera yourself, or do it yourself. But that's going to be a big thing this year. Quick video, short sell sheets. People say, should I license my stuff instead of selling it to retail because retail is not great? Well, if you license it, the company you license it to is going to sell it to the retailer. So your product's going to end up in the same store. So if you have the means and desire to manufacture and sell your own product to retailers or on your own website, you should do it. Licensing isn't going to help you during these times, because if you have whatever product, a widget, and you go to Acme Corp and say, hey, you want to do a licensing deal, that's fine. But Acme Corp is going to go to Target and Walmart and whoever else and offer the product just the way you would. So licensing makes sense. And we've had many shows about this stuff, but it doesn't change the fact your product's going to end up at that store anyway.
Yeah, 1,000,000%, dude. Yeah. And I know you've been busy. We've been busy. We got projects coming in all the time. And it's the time to start this, as you said, is don't wait till this is over, because then everyone's going to start. The time to do this is now, when there's a lull, when you can attack and you can come out at the other end of this much stronger with a good product. Waiting is definitely not the answer. No.
I mean, we're working on things. You want to get in line, as they say. You want to get in front of the retailers now, because as we've talked about many, many times, retailers just don't bring your product in next week. They're buying right now for fall and holiday. Yes, we just finished Christmas, and there are some retailers that are actually going to be wrapping up Christmas soon, if not already. So whatever you have, it's not what's happening now, it's what's going to happen. Yes, you can get your product online quicker on their website, but even that takes a few months, just the paperwork, getting set up as a vendor, them having the time to put all your information up on their website. It's got to be tested. There's a lot of back and forth that goes on to have that happen. So you shouldn't just sit around like you just said, Carmine, and wait for something to end, or there's never going to be a great time. If you have a great product that people want, there's always time for that. That time is right now.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And most inventors, they don't wait, as you and I are. They're always trying to do something. We're always looking to do something. So that's the good part. And that's kind of why we do this show. If you're waiting or you're worried or you don't know what that next step is, reach out to Jim. He will gladly help you with that next step and in the right sequence. Just don't do busy work and don't do things that will steal your resources, because, time and money and away from your family, and maybe you're calling that one buyer, you're calling that one person and you're not ready. If you're not sure what that next step is, I would implore you to get in touch with Jim. It would be in anyone's best interest.
Thank you, sir.
All right, my friend. Hey, real quick, we are judging the PGA show. It's virtual, obviously. The biggest merchandise show for the PGA is coming up, and the UIA is going to be judging that. So I don't know if you or any of the listeners have a product for golf. I would say get in touch with Jim, and he'll get in touch with
When
me.
is that? Isn't that the end of January or early February?
It comes up the end of January. We at the UIA will be judging the show, so we have virtual booths, if you want to say, and all the top, manufacturers, the buyers are going to be watching.
Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, I heard a rumor. You can confirm or deny that your status at the United Inventors Association, which is really the main and premier non-for-profit organization that serves inventors, that you have been vaulted to a new position. Is that true?
Yeah. So the UIA, as you said, is basically a hub for not only inventors, but all the inventor clubs or most of the inventor clubs around the country, even in other countries. So I've been voted to be the UIA, new incoming UIA president, and I'm honored to do that. It's pretty cool. Mr. Warren Tuttle has been running it for several years. He stepped down. He's still going to be on the board. He's done super great job, set an unbelievable foundation. I'm hoping to be able to follow in his footsteps, but we got a lot of cool stuff planned for the UIA to build it up. We're going to be bringing people in to help. I mean, Jim, you've volunteered. You're an ambassador. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff. You might not know how much stuff you're going to be doing yet, but I'll be letting you know. Stay tuned with UIA. All of our listeners, if you're not a UIA member, please go ahead to UIAUSA.org and join up. It's free, and the resources that are there are numerous, but they're just going to get better and better. So, thanks for mentioning that, Jim.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, I had heard a few things out there, so just wanted to confirm it with you, of course. But, Warren has done I've known Warren for many years. He's truly what you want to see. He personifies what protecting inventors and educating inventors is all about. He has been very instrumental in reshaping and changing the UIA and bringing it back into the forefront. And yes, being an ambassador, appointed at being an ambassador last year. Of course, Corona comes in and sort of, makes everything a little haywire in terms of everything that's being done. But again, a new year, new beginning. So looking forward to being involved and helping.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, what's, not fun about dealing with inventions and inventors and products and retailers. It's a lot of fun all the time. And, like you said, this time it's PGA, then we hardware show, Faustware show. But we're going to spread out into all different types of, markets. I mean, there's so many different markets out there. Inventors in STEM, in young adults. There's so many different ways that we're going to break out into those, and we're going to use all the ambassadors to do that. So it's going to be pretty cool. So thanks for mentioning that. So I think we're kind of out of time for this first show. This was just kind of a catch-up show, and I appreciate you for jumping on there, Jim. And if you have any products, as we talk about, that you're looking to get into retail, please go on out. And Jim, I think the only only social media you're not on is TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
No, I set up an account a long time ago, more probably just to watch my kids and see what they're doing on there than anything. But it's crazy on there. I know people are making a business of it. I've been hesitant. I guess I'm just, consumed with, other social media things that I'm on, that I have a strong following on. I don't know. I mean, I'll never say never. I mean, if there's an opportunity, the audience is there, I'll consider it, right? But I've got my hands full right now with other things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim's on all those social media sites. Very easy to reach out to him. Very easy to find him. JimDebetta.com also. And, if you do see Jim on TikTok, he's going to be doing that dance that the kids do. Yeah. That will be the fun part. All right, Jim, we're going to hang up the lines for today. I appreciate all you listeners out there. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on YouTube. You'll find the links within these show notes. You can watch this show on our YouTube Launch Network station. And for myself, Carmen Disco, for Mr. Jim Debetta, we thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Get Retail Ready. You all take care.